So one of the very important feature in TestNG is data providers. So here in this tutorial we'll learn how to use these data providers. So I have my application here. This application, I have a test where I need to enter the data into the input fields in my application. So how do I enter this data? Using data providers in TestNG, we can enter the data dynamically into the test cases. Okay, so as you know that data providers will have the name here. Data will be sent using this annotation called data provider annotation, and it will have a name, and this data this name I'm going to pass it here. As I shown here, this name I'm going to pass it here. Using the same name, this at the rate test will get the data, and it will going to execute those many times. So if I have the data for 2 rows, it is going to execute the same test for 2 rows. And most of the times this at the rate this data provider can be in a class, within a class, can be within a class, or it you can access from outside the class as well. You can access from outside the class. This demo we are going to see how to create a data providers, how to pass it to the test methods within a class, and how to pass it to the test method outside of the class. So let me get started here. I am Karthik. So if you like this video, please do share and subscribe to my channel, and do encourage me for more tutorials like this. So simply for this tutorial what I'll do is I'll take Google as my application, and I'm going to enter the data which is passed by the data provider. Simple. Okay, so I'll take a class here. I'm explaining from the scratch, guys. So here name would be like Google search using data provider, let's say like that. I'm going to set up. Okay, let it create. So I need to get my path. So what I'll do is I'll just use this. Where is that? Google search using this one. Okay, so they were like, let me put this path as of now. Let me explain you later. So inside this TestNG we have before test, after test, during the test we have test method, and we have data providers. And there were a lot of annotations like before class, after class, before suit, after suit, but in this example we don't need them. So even after test also I don't need, but these annotations I need. Before test, why I am using here is like, so before the test execute I wanted, okay, I can use after test as well, not a big deal. After test, okay, just to close the browser, fine. So before test is nothing but it will execute before this test going to execute, it is going to execute before test. So all the initializations whatever you have, you usually put it in before test, and all the cleanup work once the test case executed will be done at after the test. And data provider is way of sending the data. Okay, so I'll use this concept here. So what I'll do is here before test, before test is my annotation. Let's say public void before test. Let me use before test launch here. So this is what is happening, and this driver I have it. So I'll create one method here. It's not method, sorry, it's a variable public static webdriver. This is a variable I have created. So let me import webdriver here, and before test as well. Now you can see before test annotation. Okay, this I have used, and let me use something like after test as well. After test, here public void cleanup as after test. So simply use driver dot close to close the browser. I'm importing my after test method here. So I have at test and data provider. So as you can see here, not this one, sorry, as you can see here, data provider, and it will have a name, and this name I'm going to use it in my test method. Okay, so let me create a data provider first. Okay, so before going there, I'll just navigate to the, okay, not a big deal, I can navigate in my Google test as well. Okay, not a big deal. Then let me create data provider here at data provider. Data provider will have a name, so let me use the name as data data B. Okay, so public, and data provider will always return object type of two-dimensional array. So object two-dimensional array it is returning, and let me use it as something like load. So data provider and a return statement. Okay, so return statement, what I'll be doing here is new object here. Okay, so here let me use as KB tutorials, and one more thing as YouTube channel. Okay, so this is a data, guys. So this data provider having the two rows of data. First one is KB tutorials and second one is YouTube channel. So if I use my data provider in the test, it will execute one for KB tutorials first data, and it will execute second time for YouTube channel. So how I am going to use this? So I'll have test and data provider name is equal to same name DATB, and here public void, let me use as test data provider. Simply import your TestNG method data provider as well. Then if you see here, I have one dimensional data. So in the parameters, I'll simply use string field, something like this I'll be using. Okay, this data for the first iteration it will take KB tutorials, second iteration it will take YouTube channel. Okay, so here I know that order of execution will be like before test, test, after test, after test. Okay, so here if I use test, and in the test if I use data provider, so it will go there, data provider also will get executed. Okay, so in the before test I have launched the driver. Then in the test method what I need to do, I need to navigate to the particular web page. Then using the data in the tested data provider, I'll be doing some validations. So simply go here and okay, not a big deal. Here, driver dot get. You can use Google page, right? So this is my page. Use the Google page. Then I want to do search operation, so I'll be inspecting here. Input field, I have the name here, so simply create your customized XPath here. Control F slash slash is an input field having the name, so name is equal to Q. I have one result, so web element search is equal to driver dot find element by XPath. This is a path. Let me import my web element here. Then search dot send keys. I'll just pass this fields here directly. fields field field. Okay, this send key I'll pass. I'll just type uh, enter as well. So keys dot, how do I do? Keys dot enter. Okay, and so this is how it is happen, guys. So let me try to execute this as a TestNG test and let's see how the data is coming. Now you can see I have started executing. It should load the Google page. Now Google page came. KB tutorials, we got the data. Then the second time YouTube. Okay, channel. That's fine, right? So first execution completed. Second execution is also completed. So here driver got closed in after test. So for our verification how the execution is happening, what I'll do is I'll use sysout here. Sysout before test. In before test, in a similar way I'll use in after test. I'll be using in test. I'll be using in data provider. So I need to change this data provider just for our verification how many times each one is getting executed. So in test, in after test, after test, in before test. It's correct only. Okay, so let me try to run this now. Now before test got executed. This is the before test. In data provider I got, in test I got. Now in test again I got, in after test I got. So two times. So the order of execution here, it's what happened is before test, data provider test and after test. Okay, so this test it's got executed two times since I have a two data. If I have one more set of data here, I'll get executed three more times. Okay, so this is within a class. This implementation what we have seen is within a class. Now what I'll do is I'll just simply create another class. I'll have data provider here and here I'll create another class called data provider from another class. Now you can see, okay, this driver I need to get it. So public static webdriver. So what I am doing here is like in this 1 second, driver public static cannot be resolved into any type. Okay, it's just a capital letter. Simple. So here I have this data provider, but this data provider is coming from another class. This is my class. So simply copy your class here. Is there any issue? No. Okay, fine. Simply copy your class and use this annotation data provider class. So P should be capital and C should be capital. Class dot class. String cannot be converted into a class. So let me show you this example here. So here instead of this quotes, now you can see the same name there. I'll be using here the same name from Google search. This is a name. I am be using the same thing here, but the class I am using from this is my class. So if I execute this, I'm getting the data from another class. I'll be executing this multiple times. So let's see how it is going to happen. Now you can see I started executing here. The data should come from other class using the data provider of that. Now you can see it is executed once. Now the second time also it should execute. Yes. Now you should close it. In this class I don't have any data provider, but there I have a data provider. Okay, in this class I can have a data provider but with a different name. So what happens if I use with the same name? Let's see that. So I'll use something called data provider name is equal to, I'll just use the same thing and see what is going to happen. Public object something like return data is my method. I imported my data and here I'll be returning new object 2-dimensional. Here let me use one more called subscribe and to my channel on automation. Now if I execute this, which data provider you should pick? Ideally you should pick the data provider inside this particular class because I am using the same class even though I have the same name. So let's see what is going to happen. If I run this, that class having the data provider as KB tutorials and YouTube channel, I guess. Yeah. So now you can see KB tutorials, then YouTube channel will come. So it's not picking the data provider within the same class. So in order to pick that, what I'll do is I'll just remove this data provider class. If I execute this, you should pick this particular thing, this particular data provider. subscribe, and next one is like automation. So I hope you guys understood how to use the data providers. If you have any doubt, let me know in the comment section for more tutorials like this. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.